All right, we're about to go from 0 to AI-driven development agents in a couple minutes flat. Check this out. All we got to do is type. So, oh, by the way, this is CUID2. It's a great way to generate IDs. And I'm just going to add some AI-driven development agent processes to the open source repository. So that's going to enable me to very quickly, run processes like fix bugs and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm going to install that right now. Just show you how easy it is. So first we just do npx AIDD -- help. This is going to tell us about it and what it is. Okay. So now you can see AIDD with pseudolang.ai, the standard library for AI-driven development. This is a public collection of reusable metaprograms, agent scripts, and prompt modules. Pseudolang is a pseudocode programming language for prompting large language models with clear structure, strong typing, and explicit control flow. Then it tells you the usage. And this little utility just installs the pseudolang agent orchestration system for us. So we can just get started by doing, let's see, which one is the recommended? Here we go. npx AIDD -- cursor. I'm already in the folder for this, so I can just do like that. All right. Ooh, I think this is an older version because this blurb shouldn't be here. Oh yeah, it should. That's fine. That's good there. It shouldn't be here, and it's not. Good. All right. So now it says try /help to see what you can do. All right. So what we're going to do is I should probably say launch cursor agent and type /help to see what you can do. I'll fix that later. Anyway, now that we've got that installed, let's just pop into cursor and see what it did. So now we have this new AI folder. In our AI folder, we've got a bunch of / commands. So we've got commit, discover, execute, help, log, plan, review, task. All right, so lots of new / commands that are now, if we just type any of those in here, they appear in our / commands list, and we can just type it, and it gives us a little help. And I'm going to bump the font a little bit. Maybe that's too much. There we go. How's that? There we go. So now you can see the available commands: help, log, commit, plan, discover, task, execute, review. That should look familiar because we just looked at the commands. Yep. So there's our commands that are available. And we have a bunch of rules as well. And if we go in here, we'll see there's some JavaScript stuff that I went over, I think yesterday or the day before, so I'm not going to go into it again. This bit here. This is just a style guide to help it write better JavaScript. So that's fun. All right, but that's boring. Let's see this in action. So I'm just going to have it review. I'm just going to have it review some source code. Here we'll do index.js. We'll have it review this and just see what it does, see what it says for us. So here you could just do /review and then drag in our index.js file. And let's see what happens. All right, so now it's going to run tests. And run the lint. TypeScript just to make sure TypeScript compiles. And then it goes through and it does a comprehensive code review. Saying excellent code quality with strong security, functional programming principles, and comprehensive testing. The main areas of improvement are documentation enhancement, input validation, and performance optimizations. But overall, it's a well-architected, secure, and maintainable code base. All right, so we got an A+ grade on our code review. Nice. Let's see what it came up with. Add JS documentation for better developer experience. Implement input validation in the init function. Add performance tests to prevent regressions. Consider TypeScript migration for better type safety. Optimize buff to bigint for large buffer processing. We don't need to do that. It's not processing large buffers. Low priority. Add entropy quality tests. Oh, we've already got entropy quality tests. More comprehensive edge case testing. Yeah, that's pretty good. So it gave us a pretty good review. If you do this on your own code, you're probably going to find a lot of suggestions for how to make things better. But you know, I coded this by hand, and it's the quality, the review process here is based on like functional programming principles that make code more concise and maintainable and so on. So it's not surprising that it gave it a pretty good score, although I am surprised it didn't find more issues. But yeah, so that's that. What if we tell it to, let's make a new feature for this. Let's build a home page. And in order to build a home page, we're going to have to come up with some conventions here. So I think right now we have pages, app, index. Does it already have a home page? What's in here? Let's just ask the AI what this is all about. What's this index page? And we'll pull it in here. I forgot. This might be my tests. Okay, Next.js demo page that visualizes the random distribution for CUIDs. Here's what it does. Page creates a visual demonstration of how random CUID2 are distributed, showing that they produce uniform distribution across 2D space. So it generates a bunch of IDs and yeah. So let's run this actually. Here. Let's run this. I think it will be in package.json. There should be a script for how to start this page. Start, lint, TypeScript, test, histogram, watch, update, release. Oh, there isn't. Build, start, test color, collision test, histogram. Okay. Source histogram JS. Nope, that's not it. That's not it either. Okay. Let's ask the AI. How is the project set up to serve the page? Oh, next dev. npm run dev, I believe. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sorry, it's been a minute since I used this, so okay. Let's just pull that up. Localhost 3000. See what this does. I think this is yeah, it's a histogram test, or not a histogram test. It's a it plots a bunch of random points on a 2D grid. I'll show you what it's doing. So right now it's filling in this little square with random points to create the random distribution pattern spot test. So that's what that's doing. But what I was going to do was I wanted to create a home page for this thing to kind of tell us about it. And yeah, so maybe we can figure out a way to convert the markdown documentation into a home page for it and have maybe a hero section at the top that yeah, let's close that. We're not gonna need that. But like maybe create a hero section at the top of the page that will yeah, that'll generate some IDs for you randomly, so you can just grab a bunch. Like, so maybe it'll, at the very top of the hero section, it'll have a CUID generator with maybe a little button to regenerate new CUIDs. It will generate like 5 at a time and just let people grab a CUID. Just use it as like a CUID generator, the homepage, right? So let's do, I'm gonna start a new tab and I'm just gonna say, please, and I'm going to use the task command here. You should see when we type it command, it lets us select it from the list, right? So we're going to say, please create a new homepage feature. Client side only for GitHub pages, right? And here we're going to just list a few functional requirements. We're going to say a hero section at the top should have the name of the package, which is CUID2, the tagline, right, from the README, and it should generate, and in the hero section, in large font, large-ish font, right, list 5 CUID generated IDs, 5 freshly generated IDs, yeah. List 5 freshly generated IDs and create a prominent button to regenerate IDs, regenerate more IDs. The rest of the page should be, should present the markdown documentation in HTML form. And we should probably use a markdown to HTML converter, right? And it should the page should be generated at the page documentation contents should be generated at build time. And this page should be static HTML. How's that? Probably good. Please review these requirements and start by let's do by creating a simple design system. Simple design system with a CTA button, header, and card system for layout. Header, fonts, documentation, fonts, and or let's just say typography and card system for layout. Keep it simple. Simple, right? And this should create our task file first. Read the TDD rules. Okay, so let's see if it created the task file. I don't think it did. Sometimes it needs reminding. Before you begin, make sure to create the task epic plan according to the task rules. There we go. So it just did all that thinking, and now it's creating a plan for it to tackle. And then we're going to use this plan to implement things. All right, so let's review this really quick. So when you're doing this, your job changes from being the person that writes all the code to being the supervisor. So here it's presenting its plan for how it's going to work, and now our job is to review the plan and make sure it's a good idea. So it's saying Next.js project with CUID2, current homepage shows random distribution visualization, GitHub. So we don't want to change the existing page. So if we go to, let's see, pages, yeah, index, right? So let's just revise the task slightly. Current page, target state, GitHub pages compatible, static, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what we're going to say is we want to keep the current page because it's a test. We want to keep the current page because it's a randogram test. But move that to randogram instead of the current index location. So step one should probably be to rename the existing file to randogram, right? Great clarification. Okay, so now we should be able to, if we open up index.js, yeah, that's still our randogram. That's not good. Hold on. Let's make sure to stop this guy. So actually, I can just undo that and we can delete it. Hold on. Delete. I'm going to revise here. I deleted the index.js file. So I'm kind of helping it along, kind of pushing it in the right direction here. I'm just going to tell it, I deleted the index.js file. The design system should be in its own file. Let's call it design system, right? Oops. There we go. Wait, hold on before we create. No, we don't want to import the design system in the home page. No, the design system is not part of the home page. It is a reference we will use for visual styling and layout. Context reference. We should not start on the home page until the design system is finished and approved. So as you can see, this requires a lot of babysitting, but you're about to see some fun stuff happen here, hopefully. All right. So it's adding a bunch of components to our design system. Now, I don't mind that it's vibe coding the design system because it's just a reference. We're not using this as production code. So it's okay for it to do that. Okay, so let's run it now. And let's see. Where did oh, I guess I closed the browser. Let's open a new browser window real quick. So I'm just going to navigate to localhost 3000 / design system. So I got a 404 error because it didn't add the design system to pages. It's in the I put it in the wrong place. Okay, so we're just gonna say let's move the design system to a source folder, and then we'll import it from pages. So let's move it to source, new folder, and we'll just call this pages, and we'll drag the design system into the pages folder. And then I will refresh the browser. Oops, maybe I need a restart because it didn't find the npm run dev. Oh, it still isn't finding it. Oh, because I haven't linked to it from pages. So let's just say I moved the design system file to source pages. Now we need to import it from pages design system.js, which does not exist yet. Don't move it, import it. There we go. didn't. She just reproduced it. Okay, it's making silly mistakes. Revise. Remember, I told you to import the source pages design system file in the pages design system file instead of recreating it. Did you do that? All right. Not quite. Yeah, we're gonna show it. Broken link. Export star from page is disallowed. Please use. All right. Okay. All right. Now we have a design system. It's not a very interesting design system. I'll show you what it came up with. But now we can start to kind of vibe code our style and give it some style hints. So first thing I'm going to do is tell it dark mode and maybe some interesting color accents, right? So let's add a dark mode and some color accents. Be sure to update. So I'm just reminding it that, hey, we've got an epic with a plan here. So the tasks plan with the current status. Nice. It's using CSS variables. Nice. Nice. All right, here we go. I don't see the dark mode. There it is. There's the dark mode toggle. Ooh, nice. Very cool. See how quickly that happened? I like this. Now we've got some cool shadows, some borders. This is starting to look more like a respectable design. And this, I think, is good enough for our purposes, because this is a really nerdy tech site. It doesn't have to be super pretty, but yeah, this is good enough for our purposes. I'm just going to tell it to make the dark mode state default. Please make the dark mode state default. And then what else did I want it to do? Yeah, that's good. All right, let's refresh the page, and yeah, now we should be in the dark mode by default, and we are. That's good. Yeah, slick. Love it. So now let's do the home page. Okay, great. Start with the home page. Remember, since the home page is public facing, we want to use the TDD process from this point on. Read the TDD rules before you begin. Actually, what we could do is, instead of this, I can show you how it's keeping context. So I'm going to say, wait, let's see, did we update our, let's just check this task. See if the status is up to date. Hero section, generate button. Let's see, is our design system even in there? Okay. Look at the task plan. Design system should be at the top of the to-do list there, and it looks like we're not quite done implementing it yet. We're missing CTA button, header, the hero header, hero section. Okay. Absolutely correct. Looking at the task plan, I can see task 1, create design system, is not complete. So we're missing the head component. Typography component, card layout system, that's good. Missing the hero section with AIDD name and tagline. And the live ID generation should be part of the hero, right? We want the ID, the working ID generator, front and center. In the home page. Wait, it's not using the TDD process. We gotta stop it. Stop. The home page code needs to use the TDD process. And we need to finish the button design and color accents in the design system before we build the home page. So let's revert any homepage changes you've already made. And back up a little. There we go. So basically I'm just babysitting it and making sure that it's doing everything right. And this is the new job of software developer. Instead of doing all the code manually, you're just telling the AI what to do. And if you're a good software engineer, that gets a little easier. So now it's running tests to see what's missing from the design system. I didn't know there were any design system tests to run. Test runner seems to have issues with React testing setup. Let me check what testing framework is available. Okay, so I think the test system is broken. Actually, I'm going to do that in a completely different tab because I don't want to mix the contexts. And I think I'm probably just going to end this stream here and get going because I need to get to other things right now. But you get the idea, right? We can vibe code an entire design system and then use that design system to guide the design of our application pages and views and stuff like that. And here, I'm going to lift this mic a little more. There we go. So yeah, we can use it to kind of guide the design of our real application views. And then once you're in the flow, you can actually use the TDD process. And as you could see, it was starting to write unit tests and things like that. Once you get into the TDD flow, it'll write a test, watch it fail, and then implement the code, and then run the tests again and watch it pass, run the lint, make sure everything's okay, and then it'll ask before it moves on to the next step. And I really want to show you that process, but I'm going to have to do that in another broadcast. Anyway, what do you think? Yeah, I had fun. I'll talk to you later.